Hey, I'm Dr. Dave Harris. Welcome to this series of videos where we're talking about television production. We're talking specifically about video cameras today, and specifically, or more specifically, about audio settings on a generic camera. Here we've got the generic settings of a specific audio camera, a camera, the audio settings on that camera. This is from a Panasonic camera. And I want to talk about the audio input settings on this particular camera. We've got the audio in settings down here. We've got 3 channels of audio, channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, and channel 4. And we have the ability to choose which inputs on the camera go to which channels on the recording. So we've got 2 inputs in the front, we've got 2 inputs in the back. Notice that we can choose between the front and rear as far as those connectors on that camera. Note though that the second channel on either the front or back is going to go to channel 4 or channel 2 in all cases. So if we have channel 2 plugged in the front and we want it to assign to channel 4, we want to flip this switch up to the front on channel 4 because that would assign it to the 4th channel of audio, but it'll be the second input on the front of the camera. So keep that in mind, the odds and the evens always stay together. So we could have the rear setting for channel 4, the front setting for channel 3 if we wanted to, but it's going to be the first input on the front or the second input on the rear, if that makes sense. The odds and the evens all stay together. I want to pay particular attention to this channel 1. Note it's different than the other 3. It has the ability on the front panel to choose between the first and the second input on that particular camera. What that means is that we could actually, on the front, we could plug in a microphone to the second audio connector on the front of the camera, and we could then assign channel 2 to the front, which by default would be picking up that second audio connector in the front. And then we could also set channel 1 to 2. Notice that it'll also be in the front. So in other words, what that means is that on channels 1 and 2 of the recording, we will only hear the one microphone input, that of the second audio connector on the front of the camera. That's the only one that's different. It allows us to do this split mono that I have written right here. And other than that, we're always going to have channel 1 be with the first connector on the front or back, or channel 2 with the second connector on the front or back, channel 3 with the first, or channel 4 with the second. So the odds and the evens stay together. Or we could have all 4 of the channels of audio picking up different elements. And that allows us a lot of flexibility in this particular camera. If we look at the gain control, we've got channel 1 and channel 2 gain control. This is actually the LCD panel that if we were to lift this LCD panel, we would see that menu we just saw on the previous page. But the gain controls for channels 1 and 2 are just in that location, easy for us to access. And the gain controls for the channels 3 and 4 are within that LCD panel. Keep in mind that the channels 3 and 4 are not as well used. Generally, channels 1 and 2 are more used on a camera. I also want to talk about the monitor select. These 2 switches here on this particular camera. We've got one labeled 1 and 2, the other 3 and 4, and we've got 1 and 3 stereo and 2 and 4. That's these particular switches here. On this one, we've got the right ear. On this one, we've got the left ear. We can select what's being monitored by those specific ears. So in this one, it would be either channel 1 and 3 or channel 2 and 4, that'd be in our left ear. Or this one in our right ear, it's going to be either channel 1 and 2 or channels 3 and 4. Or we could choose to have a stereo mix where we've got channels 1 and 2 being sent to our left and right ears. That's the way we can select those monitors to make it so that we can monitor whether it's a stereo signal, whether it's a split mono, whether we want to listen to the first and second channel, the channels 3 and 4. That's the way that works. I want to let you know that this video is a part of a series of videos on video production, television production, and I invite you to visit our channel where we have playlists and videos where you can look. We've got lots of content on that channel and we add more and more all the time. And as always, if you are interested in providing monetary support to allow more of these videos to be made, please feel free and visit our Patreon page. Thanks for your support. I'm Dr. Dave Harris.